Benji B.
This is the underground mixtape show. Stay lost.
Benji B. Radio 1. On interplanetary invasion. Don't sleep, wake up.
Benji B, stop playing.
This show contains bad language. If you don't like it, head to bbc.co.uk/Radio 1 and check out another show.
Threesomes with a fucking triceratops. Reptar, rapping as I'm mocking deaf rock stars. Wearing synthetic wigs made of anwars. Dreadlocks, bedrock, harder than a fucking Flintstone. Making crack rocks out of fish bones. This Jasper trying to get grown. About 5'7" of this in my bedroom. Swallow the cinnamon, I'ma scribble this shit in while Sid is telling me that she's been getting intimate with men. Sid, shut up. Here's the number to my therapist. You tell him all your problems. He's fucking awesome with listening. I told him to quit, and it says in a fucking hotline. For a fucking shrink, sheesh, I already got mine, and he's not working. I think I'm wasting my damn time. I'm clocking 6:03 and going postal. This the revenge of the dicks. That's 9, that cock 9. This ain't no V-Tech or Columbine, but after bowling, I went home for some damn adventure time.
What you do?
I slipped myself some pink zannies and danced around the house in all over print panties. My mom's gone, the fucking broad will never understand me. I'm not, I just wanna boogie to some Marvin.
What you think of Haley Williams?
Wolf Haley robbing them. I'll crash that fucking airplane at that Bob is in it. Bruno in his goddamn esophagus and won't stop until the cops come in. I'm an overachiever, so how about I start a team of leaders and pick up Stevie Wonder to be the wide receiver? Green paper, gold teeth, and pregnant gold retrievers, all I want. Money, diamonds, and don't need them. But where the fat ones at? I got something to feed them. It's some cooking books the black kids never wanted to read them. Snapback, green chia fucking leaves. It's been a couple months and Tina still ain't perma fucking weave. Damn. They say success is the best revenge, so I beat this Shay up with a stack of magazines I'm in. Oh, not again, another critic writing report. I'm stabbing any blog and f***ing hipster with a pitchfork. Still suicidal I am. I'm Wolf. Tyler put this f***ing knife in my hand. I'm Wolf. Ace gon' put that f*** in my head. And I'm Wolf. That was me who shoved the fame and all the hype, G. I just wanna know if my father would ever like me. But I don't give a f***, so he's probably just like me. A mother goblin.
Everything, man.
That's what my conscience said. Then it bunny hopped off my shoulder. Now my conscience dead. Now the only guidance that I had is splattered on cement. Actions speak louder than words. Let me try this. Dead.
Volume 2. Exclusive 213. Got my nephew Nate Dogg in the house. Nate Dogg, holla at him, where you at?
Riding in my car, and I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening to a sad girl sang about how she got her heart broke. People reaching for stars. I just want me something natural. When you're alone, it gets mighty cold. Don't act as if you did not know. She let me play with her heart. I'm working late, I said I'll soon be home. All the while the girl was home alone. Let me tell you what she crying for. Why? Cause I'm fly.
Yeah, he's super fly. Nate Dogg.
Oh, I'm fly, yeah.
Yeah, you know he's super fly. But me, I'm super duper, and I'm super duper fly. I be the great at this, I know you waited this, and I wanted this to be elaborate and so strenuous. Then you just slide by and whiz aid. You want another piss age. Is that the way that you gon' but his age? I know you're feeling all hurt inside, but won't you talk to a player? Let me help out your pride. I'm like a counselor, a pastor, a priest, or a psychologist, a shrink on a freak. Peep, my technique, I wear mink skater boots, and I'm the rip that gets the loot. And I ain't afraid to and I love to toot. Beep, beep as I slide up the street. I'm from the LBC, and I don't know what y'all done heard about me, but I'm a CRIP with some PIMP too. I'm a real pimp player from the 213 crew. Now look here, boo, if you gon' bang or hang with the dog, you best to get in. Holla at her, Nate Dogg.
Riding in my car, and I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening to a sad girl sang about how she got her heart broke. People reaching for stars. I just want me something natural.
Is that right,
when
Nate?
you're alone, it gets mighty cold. Don't act as if you did not know. She let me play with her heart. I'm working late, I said I'll soon be home. All the while the girl was home alone. Let me tell you what she crying for.
What's she crying for?
I'm fly.
Yeah, he's super fly. Nate Dogg.
Oh, I'm fly, yeah.
Warren G.
3-piece with a mink, gotta think my shit stinks. Stacey Adams with a drink, pockets pat 'em, they come from Brinks. So what the ladies wink? You the one in the Mercedes, gun with the thing. Co-chillin', watching the Lion King, crying and things. Cause I'm with Snoop and Nate, singing, rhyming and things. I'm out late cause I'm grinding for change. I ain't with dying for dames. Cock back and I'm trying to at everything that be hating my fame. Since regulating, been lacing the game. Ain't no mistake in the game. 2-1 mother effing thrizzle, sipping on the sizzle, and that's the shizzle. 4 times for the riddles. You know these bars. Everywhere we go, you know who was on. You could tell by the car. Champagne, caviar, bubble back. I say I love you, and I laugh.
In my car, and I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening to a sad girl sang about how she got her heart broke. People reaching for stars. I just want me something natural. When you're alone, it gets mighty cold. Don't act as if you did not know. She let me play with her heart. I'm working late, I said I'll soon be home. All the while the girl was home alone. Let me tell you what she crying for. Why? Cause I'm fly.
Yeah, he's super fly. Nate Dogg.
Oh, I'm fly, yeah.
service has resumed. Benji B back in the studio, Radio 1 HQ. My thanks to everyone that sent us kind messages following our back-to-back session with unusual guest DJ Chris Moyles last week. Much respect. We're going to do our best to get through as many of those shouts as possible, and shout to Hugh Stevens as always as well. Very big show tonight. He's in the studio already. We are live from London, United Kingdom on BBC Radio 1. It's Benji B here until 4, joined by one of my favourite DJs on the planet and a label head and producer that has inspired a whole generation of music fans. He goes by the name of Kode9, and he's a very good friend of this show, and as such has agreed to share with us some of his album, forthcoming on Hyperdub. It's called Black Sun. We're going to be previewing that, as well as treating you to a Hyperdub label focus that includes loads of brand new bits on the imprint. That's coming up later tonight. Kode9 live in the studio. Also tonight, brand new music from Lil Silver, Scratcher, DVA. Got new stuff from Lone, brand new stuff from Africa High Tech, another cut from their LP. And more new music from Addison Groove. You heard Sexual chopping up the Nautilus break. Well, he's at it again. This time for 3024 recordings. This one called It's Got Me. 81199 is a text message. benjib@bbc.co.uk if you got a question for Kode9 later. It's Benji B on Radio 1. I'm here till 4 in the morning. Welcome along. finally kick the show off with Yonkers tonight. That one out to Nick Bam, Santi San, everyone that was putting me up on that in summer of last year. And every time I tried to play Tyler's music on 1Xtra or Radio 1, it was basically too dirty to clean. Like literally every other word was a reverse. But that's the official clean version and it is out now. And definitely relevant to play that one this week because they smashed the Fader 4 in Austin, Texas. I was getting texts from friends out there. Apparently they came Wu-Tang style and absolutely destroyed. Shout out to everyone involved in putting on the Fader stage at South by Southwest. Always seems to bring some of the freshest acts. And shout out to Dame Funk, who performed at South by Southwest on the low with special guest Snoop Dogg. By all accounts, that was sick. Very interested to hear that collaboration, completely natural, of course. See if we can get some stuff on wax from that in the future. Very exciting. And of course, you heard Snoop Dogg alongside Warren G and Nate Dogg as 213 from the album The Hard Way. Can't believe that came out in 2004, 7 years already. Just felt to revisit that. Of course, we gave you the Oh No track and Regulate last week. Another little nod to say rest in peace, Nate Dogg. And of course, the classic Nautilus, Bob James. Brand new Addison Groove. Track called It's Got Me. Forthcoming 3024 recordings. This one's silky, brand new. Track called Float. Forthcoming Deep Medi recordings. It's Radio 1.
BBC Radio 1.
This one arrived today from Scratcher DVA, little dub plate called The Flute Tune. Play this one for everyone coming through on the text already. Shout out to Chubby John Wellingborough, Manny in Leeds, Ty also in Leeds, Jamie from Derby tonight, and everyone coming through on Facebook. Amalia in Stockholm, Andy in New Zealand. Wants to shout out Steve Spacek, Ruben Locke, Stoyan in Denmark tonight. Adrian wants to shout out Flylo, Ching Ann from Edinburgh, Scotland. Frankie listening in Spain tonight. Shout out to DJ Sack in Tel Aviv. Out to Charles and Ford in Australia as well. Miles wants to big up the mighty Kode9. Don't forget, if you've got messages or questions for our special guest Kode9, now is the time to get them in. Facebook is the Benji B Show. Twitter you can get via our website. So much information. 81199 is a text. Benji B at bbc.co.uk is the email. Into something brand new from Lil Silver. That's up next. running through some new bits tonight. So many new pieces to get through, seeing as we had the special show last week, and there's so much new music coming out at the moment, including this one from Peverlist, forthcoming Hessel Audio, a track called Fundamentals. Before this one, Lil Silver, track simply called Cheese and Bun. Out to Gabriel in Nottingham tonight, listening live on the text. Likewise to Tom in Glasgow, feeling the silky tune. Big up Lee, Stephen, Justin, working all night in the factory in Cornwall, and Mamoon, AJ. Text number is 81199 if you're up and about. And don't forget, if you listen to this show on iPlayer at your leisure, you can always email us, benjib@bbc.co.uk. Kode9 is in the studio. And he's strapped with goodies. Plenty of goodies. Going to be running through a preview of his forthcoming LP I'm very excited to be able to share with you. LP is called Black Sun. Going to be playing some exclusives from that. And then an hour two tonight, running through some forthcoming material on the Hyperdub record label. Hope you're feeling good tonight. Do not go anywhere. If you're a fan of the kind of music we play on this show, next hour and 20 minutes, essential listening. It's Benji B on Radio 1, Kode9 in the studio, up very soon.
This is them coming live.
definitely the one I've been waiting for. Been looking forward to this for a few months now. Just heard a track called Other Man, brand new music from our special guest Kode9. First gave you that a few weeks back. The first material to emerge from the brand new long player from my special guest. And if you're not familiar with Kode9, before he is too humble to say it himself, let me tell you this. Heavyweight producer, the visionary behind Hyperdub Records, which has released some of my favourite dance floor and non-dance floor 12-inch music from the UK and around the world over the last 6, maybe nearly 7 years. 6 years. Without any question, one of my favourite selectors around as well. An all-round nice bloke. Allegedly. Kode9, welcome to the studio, sir.
Thanks for that. That's very kind.
You know, I was just trying to set it up right, because I know you wouldn't say any of those things, so...
Yeah, I'm red.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight and coming back, because for those of you that missed the now sort of famous, legendary, often ripped, YouTube clipped Hyperdub 5-year anniversary special when I was doing my One Extra show, that went down very well indeed. So it's sort of a double whammy tonight. We're going to do another Hyperdub label special in hour 2, but first of all, it's been 5 years pretty much since your last record, since your last album. So what have you been up to in the meantime?
Not much, really. Twiddling my thumbs in the back room. You know, run the label, doing other stuff that I do at weekends, playing records, trying to make this record.
Yeah.
You know, we've been making the Black Sun album with Space 8. We've been doing for, you know, off and on for about three years. Kept getting interrupted. Too busy to concentrate on it. So it was really only the middle of last year when we got to kind of pull it all together again and focus on it. So yeah, just it was quite a stop-start production process.
Yeah.
Because we're both kind of distracted with other stuff.
Well, it's quite a nice full circle in a way, because on our last meeting on the radio, you sort of premiered a dub plate of a track that was to become known as Black Sun. That was the first time I heard Black Sun, was when you played it on the show, whenever that was.
2009.
2009, yeah, exactly. And now not only are we previewing the album called Black Sun, but also in the background you can hear a sort of reversion and a redone version. Why did you choose to sort of revisit Black Sun and do a new version?
I mean, it's quite an important track for me because it was a rare occasion where I hear a track in my head and get it out into sound pretty much like what it sounded like in my head.
Yeah.
And it's also quite a different sound at the time for what I was doing, so kind of stuck with me. The idea for Black Sun came during the Mercury Burial Sun newspaper fiasco, when I was in my kitchen burning copies of the Sun newspaper, some kind of voodoo ritual to eliminate a Sun journalist off the planet.
I remember asking you about that before, and everyone thought Black Sun was sort of something about the eclipse or space, and it was.
Well, it then became that,
and it then became that.
It started very humbly in my kitchen.
Who is Burial, Mercury Prize?
Yeah.
Let's phone up Kode9 at home and try and find out, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it started like that, and then became a big science fiction story.
Right. Okay.
Which is what kind of the backstory of the album, and in the artwork for the album is a kind of little comic strip. I won't go into the story now. You should
maybe
check out the little comic and the artwork.
But originally, the sort of title for that track that we just heard was basically inspired by sort of charred copies of a newspaper instead of
charred copies of a tabloid.
All right, let's get straight into another track previewed from Black Sun. What is this?
This is another track with Space Ape called Am I?
Am I a killer with a gun, shooting rounds of inspiration, or an agitator wanting to control the situation? Am I a brother on the corner that you cannot ignore, or the evil in your life that cuts right to the core? Am I a new age therapy spreading fear and disease, or a master being told them can't do as him please? Am I a warrior and a battle between war and peace, or a mind-managed janitor waiting to unleash? Am I a shaking and rolling with a nerve of steel, or a storm blowing wind that nobody can feel? Am I a chemical mixing up a weapon of construction, or an elevator moving in a lateral direction? Am I a pilot flying solo on the wings of a jet, or an assassin paid to execute remorse and regret? Am I a colonizer breaking the chains for liberation, or an activist too scared to fight the revolution? I need a right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. Am I a dead man walking, talking in I'm sleep, or a class and praying without no belief? Am I a heartbeat beating a pattern of frustration, or a pacifist wanting to bomb another nation? Am I a dark cloud spinning light and introspection, or a detonator kicking in the wrong direction? Am I a sinner feeling shame for the things I should have done, or a father too old to embrace his own son? Am I a collective thought instead of a twisted mind, or a drug-fueled addiction of the spiritual kind? Am I a sound wave traveling at the speed of light, or a vampire frightened of the afterlife? Am I a judgment masquerading as the moments of glory, or a hostile alien killing all before me? Am I a deep-rooted shame that you want to express, or a stripper in a bar too afraid to undress? I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife. I need a wrong or right, need a black or white, cut straight down the middle like a surgical knife.
It's Radio 1 with special guest Kode9 in the studio from the album Black Sun. Just remind us of the name of that track.
The tune's called Am I?
Featuring longtime collaborator The Space Ape, who I've got to say definitely went in on this record. I've only had it for 24 hours and you know, definitely the overwhelming feeling from first listen, having not lived with it yet, sort of thing. The first thing that I felt from it very much was that it had a uniform sound, like, you know, in terms of that kind of Black Sun sound that you've continued through it in terms of mood musically. But in terms of his lyrical content, it's definitely cohesive in the sense that it's sort of a story that runs through the whole record as opposed to different songs about different things. Maybe you could just fill us in about the concept behind the theme of what he's talking about the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of complicated. I was trying to drag him here to talk about it himself because he's better at doing that than I am. But the stories story's kind of set in ironically in a kind of after a large unnamed radioactive event. And the population kind of undergoes these kind of bodily mutations because of this event. And the story is about the kind of way different groups respond to that situation.
Right.
So a lot of the lyrics are little stories set in this world. Like I said, the artwork is kind of draws a picture of this world. Yeah, don't really want to go into too much more detail than that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was just sort of interested conceptually, did that concept come before you started making the music, or did you sort of make a series of beats and then he kind of came up with a vibe that's how it made him feel, kind of thing?
Yeah, to be honest, the story comes right at the end. The story came after he'd written all the lyrics, I'd written all the music, we'd finished the album, and then just trying to work out what it was that we actually made, like what kind of coherence it had, or how it would fit together. You know, we both like writing stories, really, and making up stuff.
Is that what you sort of get most out of working with Space 8? Because obviously he like features heavily throughout your last record, and, and this record definitely sounds like a strong collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we work together, it's, you know, for better or worse, it doesn't really sound like anything that anyone else is doing just now. When we work together, we just kind of turn our back on the world and just do our thing, really. And like I said, we like to, you know, we like making up stories. We like placing the music in a world, a fictional world. And, you know, with this album, it was partly about, we wanted to go in on the artwork. And so, you know, we had to make a little comic out of it, and therefore we had to kind of try and, after we'd written all the music, try and extract a story. See what story came out of the music at the end, and then visualize that in the artwork. So that's, you know, that's kind of the drive for not just leaving it as music, but trying to fill in this kind of imaginary world. It's like, I suppose, a bit like if you're making a film, but instead of starting with the images and then adding sound to it, you start with the music. And we never get so far to add moving images to it, but we got so far to make a storyboard out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting because obviously as a DJ who's sort of gigging every other weekend or every weekend or every night in some cases, and, you know, putting out music on your label, which often is very sort of dance floor orientated, this record so far feels like more of a listening experience than something that's just aimed squarely at the dance floor, you know?
Sure. I mean, I think it's lyrically and rhythmically much more energetic than our first album.
Yeah.
It's much livelier. You know, off the album, I maybe play I tend to, in my DJ sets, I'll play the houseier tracks, but the vocal tracks I only play when I do a live set with Space Ape, and it's still energetic and people still move to it, but it's a much more, I save those for where the vocals are being performed live rather than just playing the vocals off a record.
Yeah. And do you do a lot of live shows? Are you going to be doing some live shows with Space Ape this summer?
Yeah, we've been doing 2 or 3 a month. We're playing, just played in Italy at the weekend. We're playing at the Worldwide Festival, playing at Primavera Festival in Barcelona, I think it's Parklife, Manchester, Outlook Festival, Festival,
Wicked,
and so on. So yeah, we're trying to do more of the live set, because at the moment we're really enjoying it. Even though we've been playing these tracks live for a couple of years in their various stages of evolution, something has clicked recently since we finished the album and just got on top of it a bit. Something's clicked that it's made the live sets a bit more coherent, I think.
Does it feel good to be able to say it's finished?
It's words fail me. It's like getting out of prison, isn't it?
I think at one point I saw you out somewhere and you said, I think I've been dragging grazed, bruised knees, sort of kicking and screaming to the finish line of making this record or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a bit of a long one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to escape.
Well, what's the next track we're going to get into?
Good question.
I think it was Green Sun, but I'm sorry, I've forgotten what number it is on your CD.
Green Sun is number 7.
Oh, I was right. Okay, cool. This
is a sister of Black Sun.
Definitely feels like there's some elements of hope in this one.
Yeah. It's not that dark a record, really.
No,
not compared with our first one.
No. A lot of synth going on this record.
I mean, the houseier tracks on the record are sister tracks of Black Sun, really. The other tracks are not really in the same zone musically, but there was a period after I made Black Sun where I was just in this sound for a bit. Just enjoying playing with these kind of droning synths.
Taken from the forthcoming LP Black Sun, produced by my special guest Kode9. Hyperdub recordings, of course. This one, Green Sun, on Radio 1. You got Kode9 on Radio 1, special guest. Playing through some bits from the brand new album. It's called Black Sun and it's going to be coming out on Hyperdub Records on
April 18th.
April 18th. I've noticed that you're getting quite militant about kind of like letting people hear the record really close to the release date now.
You know, I'm not one to...
Oh, come on, you played dub plates for about 4 years before they come out. And then you let everyone else have them just like one day.
Yeah, I'm alright to play other people's music 4 years before, but my own,
Yeah, fair enough. Talking of which,
Stum.
Yeah, there's a 12-inch coming out on Monday that everyone's getting quite excited about. I think we're going to hear it out.
I'll play some of that in a bit.
Yeah, cool. But in terms of your record, I mean, it's been 5 years since the first one. You sort of explain the difference between album 1 and album 2. Is it true that it's tough to make the sort of second album, or is it not?
It didn't really matter that it was the second album.
No.
What mattered is, you know, the amount of time you've got to spend on it. And, you know, we did work on it differently this time. You know, Space 8 would come with lyrics and I would write to his lyrics and not just the other way around, which is what we did with the first one, where I would have some stuff and he'd come in and flow on top of that. So there was more give and take, I think, this time.
And do you sort of like having someone there to bounce off, or are you one of those people that needs their space to kind of create and then you can come in once I've got an idea going kind of thing? Or are you a solitary producer?
I'm not a big collaborator, but you know, because I've known Space 8 for 10 years, you know, we can work in the studio together pretty easily. But yeah, usually I enjoy being in the studio to get away from everyone. You know, so collaboration's not my favourite.
I remember quite a few years ago actually having Flying Lotus on my show, and him coming in and going, yeah, I just met Kode9 and we just started a track together, and that must have been like
that's this
5
track.
years ago.
That's the last track on the album, actually.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I was listening to the record today, and because it came up as track 1, 2, 3, 4, there was no track names, and it was a really striking tune. I was like, what's this tune? And then I looked at the track listing and it was the Flying Lotus tune. Was that the track that you actually started all that time ago?
Yeah, it's the same one. It went through about 40 different versions, you know, most of which were okay, but nothing quite jumped out or did justice to the initial synth riff that we built together, which ends up being the second part of the track that we put on the album, Cry On. I think he used a version when he did an Essential mix a year or two ago. He had a version, a minute of a version with beats in it.
Is that what we're going to play next?
No.
Okay.
You have to buy the album for that one.
Oh, can't we play that tonight?
Nah.
No. Well, that's such a tease, man. I thought I thought you would sort of give me the layup to slam dunk the tune.
You know how it is.
Cool. What are we playing?
It's a finale tune.
Yeah.
So this one's called Neon Red Sign.
By the way, talking of Essential Mix, excellent job.
Thanks, boss.
If you missed Code's Essential Mix from about a week ago, I think, 2 weeks ago, it's probably floating around somewhere. But don't tell anyone I said that.
Yeah, within about 20 minutes, I think.
prophets, they are running out of time today to save the light inside your soul. Then put a hand on his shoulder and he's asked to pray. He hears them speaking in a tongue from a distant day. Shivering, he feels the cold of yesterday. Why is everybody telling him to be this way? But the prophets now operate in different ways. They're taking liberties and rearranging words, he say. They're talking biblical and disappearing all his days, hijacking minutes from the hours in a every day. There's a war going on. Are we being deceived like the Omega man moving like he's under siege? Pick up receivers, we don't know who to believe, cause there's a God on every corner who has underachieved.
What was that tune called?
That's called Neon Red Sign. It's Space Ape and a Chinese vocalist that did backing vocals on 4 of the tracks in the album called Cha Cha. It's kind of the main vocal on this track, Love Is the Drug, as well.
It feels like there's got to be stories behind each of these tunes. What was the last tune called again?
Neon Red Sign.
Neon Red Sign. I mean, what's that about?
Do you want Space Ape's number? You can give him a bell. Just call him up. You know, he's only sleeping.
Well, you know.
Nah. If you need to. I'll give you a copy with the art, with the story.
Yeah. And then it all falls into place.
Probably not, but you know.
Yeah.
You can decide for yourself.
And what about this one? Love Is the Drug.
This, as I said, this has got Cha Cha on it again. Cha Cha. Great singer that I met in Shanghai. A couple of times I've been over there. She first did backing vocals on the track Time Patrol that was on the Hyperdub compilation a couple of years ago. And I've been back there every couple of years, and whenever I'm there I get in the studio with her. So I was there in September, just when I was almost finished the album, and you know, something was missing, and she kind of added that something to 4 of the tracks.
I mean, I've got to say one thing that I really rate about all of the work you do, not just as a producer but as a sort of label boss as well, is you always introduce me to people that I haven't already heard of, and also support new up and coming talent. You know, one of the first people to get behind Coolie G and Iconica, and you know, really inspiring producers. I mean, I've definitely never heard of the vocalist Cha Cha before, so you know.
I think she's got a track coming on One Man's label soon as well. But yeah, really talented vocalist.
So you've been hearing music from the forthcoming LP Black Sun. It's going to be coming out in April on Hyperdub Records. And that was your album preview, quite a few tracks. Thank you very much for sharing those bits with us first, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yes, they're all sounding wicked, and definitely having listened to the album, it's a true LP. It's not a collection of tunes. It's like a definite listen from start to finish. So I recommend picking that up when it comes out. Of course, we'll be sharing pieces with you over the next few weeks or so, including that Flying Lotus tune when Steve lets us. But talking of Hyperdub, we've got something kind of special coming up next. What's this?
This is one of the tracks off the new Burial EP. It's called Street Halo. It's out on Monday, and yeah, it's just nice to release some Burial solo material again. I mean, I'm a bit of, like many people, I'm a bit of a Burial purist, so it's nice to hear some solo stuff again.
Kode9's in the studio. We've done the LP preview, now we've got plenty of new releases forthcoming on the Hyperdub record label. This one out Monday.
Yeah, we'll play another Burial track a bit later, but yeah, we've got I'll just let that drop. We've got a Kudo remix of King Midas sound that's coming. We're doing a King Midas sound remix project, remix album. We've got a bunch of producers to remix their first album. So we've got an amazing remix to play. New track by Ozzy. New one from DOK, someone Terror Danger's been bringing through over the last few years. New track by Funky Steps. So hopefully we'll fit all that in. Another Burial track a bit later on as well.
people, including myself. Been looking forward to hearing that one. Out on Monday, Hyperdub Recordings, Burial. Kode9 special guest in the studio tonight. And I like the way you just sort of announced this one last minute, and on every site that I looked at this week it was already sold out pre-sale.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid weeks and months of speculation and just, announce it when it's already in the shops, basically. So it's been we announced it this morning, so it's been pretty crazy. It's been quite a mad day, actually. Fending off requests for promos and so on, but it's kind of in the shop, so we're not doing any press on it. Anyway, this is it's the new
Afterglow Golden's the Peak.
New track by Hype Williams, who we're releasing an EP by.
Maybe we should start this one from the top, right?
Yeah, doing an EP by at the end of May, and then we're going to do an album with them. Just saw them tonight, Plastic People.
How was that?
It's great. It's great. Very different from. I mean, if you could just annihilate the top 40 and just make them number one, I think the musical world would be better. I'm on Radio 1, I'm not allowed to say that.
Shout out to Hype Williams. We've been supporting their music for a long time, and I've got to say it's absolutely fantastic you've picked them up for Hyperdub. I'm really happy about that. It's sort of unexpected and a great turn as well. So.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their stuff.
Wicked.
The Mountain Afterglow. Afterglow Golden's the peak. Its rock beak glows like raw blood, and red is the snowfield beneath it. Inevitably, my thoughts go to Christ's blood, which our weakness drinks, and to the blood of another useless, hopeless war. Then from its blackness the heart cries to the peak. Oh, give us a sign, make us a sign. But back to our valley comes only the sun's dying glow, as so softly, so delicately, the bright rock and snow fade into night, and night clouds fold dark on the stars.
Prolegomena toward future study of the implications of interrelations in two distinct types of autoeroticism. She is not Helen, Iseult, or Guinevere. Those dead and cloudy girls insult her function and her gift. I fear the ancient lays of love and after. Would it be admirable to disregard the modern laughter? The pain is loosed by some wag's eye, or stale mot juste. Should I write of old loves they still have never heard, or love as Lancelot in four-lane street? I repeat, why love from books that make Iseult appear encased in modern language notes, or spread in photographic leers? And who would wonder what flesh can give? In which of all those Troys did Helen live? Screed 1. I say you this poem quietly, after long confession had drawn out spasms of its time. Humor of my peers gelled, cold and pitiless. I face masters in the candor of my white city, a shambles where dust stains wind. Without evocation, appeal, desire, with zodiacal exhaustion as the great snake rounds, is no one else to speak.
I'll end this reading of this group with a poem which has the title "The Last Poem to Be Written," and the quotation with which it begins is from Ezra Pound, his version from the opening line of the poem by Propertius, which begins, "Quando cum quigitur nostros Mars clouded Okelos. The last poem to be written. When and whenever death closes our eyes, still shall I behold her, smiling such brightness. Lady of brightness and the illumined heart, soft walker in my blood, snow color, sea sound, track of the ermine, delicate in the snow, line of the sea wave, delicate on the sand, lady of all brightness, donna del mio cuore.
That's Hype Williams, forthcoming on Hyperdub. I'm interested to know how you first came across Hype Williams, actually.
Well, I seemed to be on their mailing list for part of last year. They sent me stuff, videos, tracks, and I was aware of it. And then I heard Business Line. I actually heard Business Line on your show. And I was like, what's that? And looked at track listing, found out it was Hype Williams. Had a strange feeling of familiarity about the name. Went to my email, did a search for Hype Williams, found all these emails, went back and listened to them all, watched the videos again, and then I emailed them, asked them to fill me in with the latest stuff, and then they sent me their album. They sent me their previous album, then they sent me the album that's just come out. And I spent all of Christmas listening to it last year. That was it, really. I caught the Dean Blunt bug.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shout out to Hype Williams, and they've been at Maida Vale recording a session for us, which I'm really happy to say we're going to be broadcasting next week on this show. We've got 4 tracks recorded at Maida Vale, and it's really cool to see them doing absolute roadblock sellout shows like the one you went to tonight, and being able to put them on at Maida Vale and being signed to Hyperdub, and not necessarily a sound that I would have necessarily paired with Hyperdub. It's great that you're sort of like diversifying in all those different directions.
I don't know. I mean, in my head, it fits perfectly, but it all, it always seems to shock other people.
I don't think it shocked me. I just love the fact that it's kind of like your label seems to represent your music taste, and the stuff that you love personally as a DJ, whether you're going to be playing a Sam I Am track or a Hype Williams track in your sets, or it must be nice as a sort of curator and A&R person to be able to just simply sign the stuff that excites you.
Sure. I mean, definitely is. I mean, in fact, the burial tracks, burial albums and so on have done well. Gives you a certain amount of freedom to spin off on tangents.
Yeah, and I guess you can never tell what's going to take in the way that Burial took.
Obviously, we had no idea Burial was going to sell more than 500 copies. So yeah, that's it's always surprising what works and what doesn't.
So we're sort of on the radio talking about Hyperdub. I'm sure that regular listeners to this show are familiar with, or probably own quite a few releases on Hyperdub, but for those people that are joining us for the first time and aren't familiar with the label, I think it's worth just explaining how long it's been going, what the sort of ethos is behind it, and the sort of artists that you've released over the last few years.
Well, it started in 2004 with a Prince cover that I did with Space 8 called Sign of the Dub. So I started the label mostly to release my own stuff, and then came across Burial stuff. I released his first 12, 2005, I think, South London Boroughs. Maybe it was 2004. And since then, released The Bug and Warrior Queen, Dark Star, LV, Iconica, Terra Danger, Sam I Am, Flying Lotus, Martin, Joker, Funky Steps track playing in the background, Il Blue, Scratcher. This is terrible because there's so many of them now.
That's a pretty good example.
Coolie G, how can I forget Coolie G?
We already mentioned Coolie G, it's all good. Shout out to Coolie G.
Who else?
Shout out to Funky Steps. What is this track called?
Hold on, who else?
Did you say Zombie?
Zombie.
Joker.
Burial, Joker. I'm just looking round again.
Morgan Zarati.
Morgan. Got an album coming from Morgan in a few months. Who else?
Did you say Iconica?
Yep, I said Iconica.
Did you say
Dangerous?
Kyle Hall?
Kyle Hall.
You put out a Mala tune on the compilation.
I'm getting old. It's a bit
Mark Pritchard and Omas.
Senile. Yep, Wind It Up.
You got a job?
You want a job as my memory. You'd be my external memory.
It's Radio 1 with special guest Kode9. We're just running through some forthcoming releases on the Hyperdub record label, as you probably guessed. In the background, music from Funky Steps. Up next, we've got...
Yes, this is a track called Goodbye Girl by King Midas Sound, and it's the Quado remix, which is... I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name, but it's basically Jamie Vexed in his different project. But yeah, Goodbye Girl.
Benji B, BBC Radio 1.
If you just join us, you got Benji B, Hyperdub, Label Focus, all brand new, all previews with special guest Kode9. When's this one coming out?
This will be out in, I don't know, 3 months, something like that. It's part of this King Midas remix project.
And who is King Midas?
King Midas sound is Kevin Martin, Kiki Hitomi and Roger Robinson. We did an album by them. It wasn't last year, it was the year before, I think. It might have been, I can't even remember, 2009, 10? Anyway, it's called Waiting For You, great album, and we're having it remixed.
That was good. Say something else.
Big up Darkstar. Yeah, this is a new track by Ozzy called Set the Tone. I think you've been playing a track by Ozzy, Tarantula. Yeah, big up Ozzy. Big up Ozzy's little brother. It sounds like his little brother. I don't even know if he's got a brother, but if he did, he'd sound like that.
I've got to say, the sort of volume of music that comes out on Hyperdub and the frequency with which you sort of keep up releases is kind of amazing. How do you find the time to sort of not only discover all of this new talent, but kind of, you know, prepare and release every single record?
I have, I've got a friend Marcus that helps me run the label now, so that takes a lot of stress out of it. But it's easy to put music out. It's just after you've put it out that you have to deal with the paperwork. That's the complicated bit.
Into this one forthcoming from Ossie. Easy. Wow. What's this?
This is DOK. Got a 12 coming from him with tracks called West Coast and East Coast, and this is the West Coast VIP.
I wasn't going to say it, but seeing as we're on this type of music and talking about the West Coast, it was a little bit strange that, you know, I mean this in the most respectful and sensitive way, but it was a little bit strange that I was listening to your Essential Mix, which was heavy, by the way, you know, on the iPlayer at home, and I think the second or third track in, or maybe the second track in was, you know, Regulate, Warren G and Nate Dogg, which presumably you'd put the mix together like a few weeks before or a couple of weeks before, whatever. And I was like, yeah, good draw, nice, Regulate, you know, haven't heard that one in a while. And then literally in the second hour of your mix, I went onto Twitter and heard the news via Twitter about the sad passing of Nate Dogg. I mean, have you had a few comments about that?
Yeah, people were tweeting me and emailing me and texting me actually. All of them saying, you killed Nate Dogg.
That's not very tasteful.
You know, I've been playing that track in my sets and so on for the last few months. I don't know why I dug it out again. Certainly wasn't, I don't have a crystal ball into...
just sort of as a second track in, you know, sort of in the context of what happened that week, it ended up being a sort of an amazing tribute part of your mix, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing track.
And it's an amazing track. So let's let this ride out for a minute on that West Coast tip. This is DOK, forthcoming on Hyperdub. We've only got about 15 minutes left. We've got so many goodies to fit in. Kode9 with me, Benji B, on Radio 1. Still to come before early breakfast at 4. We got another track from Burial to play. We're gonna play some Dark Star, and in the background music from Morgan Zarate, definitely long-time favourite producer of this show. Best known, of course, as the man behind the boards for the SpaceX album, or SpaceX albums. How did you hook up with Morgan?
Well, you know, I knew the SpaceX stuff. I really like that a lot. It seems like ages ago now, doesn't it?
Well, it was like 98, 99 time that sort of started emerging, and then I guess the second record was sort of 2002, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I met Morgan I can't remember. I think I was at Lofa's house and we were playing FIFA or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think at that point Morgan was living with Lofa.
Yeah.
Morgan strolls in. I think that's where I met him 2-3 years ago, something like that. And I knew he shared he had a studio in the same place as Kevin Martin, the Bug.
Yeah.
And Lofa at that point.
Yeah. What's his FIFA game like?
I can't really talk because mine is...
Yeah, me too.
Not up to scratch, really. I think Lofa puts in the hours.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so does Morgan.
Does he?
Every time I try and contact Morgan, he's like, yeah, safe. I'm just going over to play some FIFA. So, well, obviously it was good for something because you got to connect. And also, you know, what's interesting as well is that, you know, knowing his sort of production style and beats, it's interesting the kind of side of those that you've chosen, like, and that you've sort of brought out, you know, which is more on this sort of bounce 140 kind of area.
Well, you know, we chatted a long time about what kind of stuff would work on the label, and you know, I love his R&B stuff, and I think there'll be some R&B stuff on his album, but I also wanted to hear him doing a kind of London sound as much as him doing a kind of big American soulful sound. You know, I just wanted to hear that because clearly he's got skills. So he went away, he came back with this batch of tracks that kind of blew my mind, to be honest.
So shout out to Morgan Zarati. This EP is out to buy right now on Hyperdub. The track in the background is actually out, but there is an album forthcoming, right?
Yeah, again, you know, this year we've got the King Midas Remix Project album, we've got Morgan's album, hopefully an album from Cooley G. She's in the middle of it just now. Scratch is in the middle of an album as well, making great stuff. This is actually a remix of Dark Stars Gold by John Roberts that came out towards the end of last year.
You might have heard the Dark Star session we had on this show last year. Their album is out now, available to buy on Hyperdub Records, as is this 12-inch, the remix of their tune Gold. Out to Arvi tonight through on the email. Shout out to Sharon in New York, Greg in Singapore, Z Team, Arich and Jason as well. A lot of love about the Subtract live session, or sort of live tracks we had in the studio a couple of weeks back. And a few questions been coming in for Kode9 tonight, one of which from Aduga, or Oduga. I have a question for Kode9, this one coming from the States. What can we expect from your set at Coachella this year? And also, what type of music coming out of the US are you feeling at the moment?
Well, I was thinking of taking my banjo to Coachella. Having a quick strum.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was part of your set.
It's something I'm flexing more and more.
Okay. Is that sort of part of your DJ set or the live set?
Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not a MIDI banjo.
No, the real McCoy.
Yeah.
Mic'd up.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, well that answers that part of the question. In terms of music that you're feeling, apart from banjo music from...
Country and Western, yeah. Bluegrass.
Alright, well let's see if we can get an answer out of you on this one. How do people get stuff to Hyperdub Records?
There's an email on our website.
Boom.
It's not rocket science. This is another Burial track. The tune's called Stolen Dog. It's on this EP that's out on Monday. There's another track we're not playing, which is called NYC, but yeah, this is Stolen Dog.
Radio 1.
This one, Burial. Out this coming Monday on vinyl, Hyperdub Recordings. Is this vinyl only, this release?
It's not, but we're going to be selling the digital only through our new website, which also launches on Monday. So yeah, the digital, you can get the digital from hyperdub.net for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it'll be on general release.
What's the name of this tune?
Stolen Dog. Actually, he's got some really good track names up his sleeve for this year.
Burial album this year?
Don't know. Nothing's finished, nothing, you know. Pass.
It's 3:57 a.m. You've been listening to, wow, a good hour of hyperdub material. Thank you very much for sharing all of this stuff with us, man.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me again.
We're going to finish off on a tune from Terror Danger, I believe.
Yeah, this was on his album Undeniable at the end of last year. Great album. The tune's called Time to Let Go.
You've been in tune to Benji B tonight, special edition. Nothing but brand new music for the full 2 hours. Special album preview. If you missed any of it, bbc.co.uk/Radio1. Just go to the iPlayer, look up our section, and you can hear tunes by our special guest Kode9 from his forthcoming LP, Black Sun. Don't forget that one out April 18th, I believe.
Yeah, April 18th.
And most of the material that you've been hearing over the last sort of 50 minutes or so, preview of forthcoming hyperdub material, some of it already out, but the majority forthcoming over the next few months.
Yeah, most of it will be out May, June, July, something like that.
Code, much respect, man, as always. Thank you for always flying the flag for good music, and thank you for sharing it with us tonight.
Big up, Benji.
Cool. That's it from us. Up next on Radio 1, it's Early Breakfast with Dev, who I see on the studio cam next door. From me, Benji B. Until next week, we return same time, same place, 2 till 4. Over to you, Dev. How you doing?
Hey, Benj, do you fancy doing another hour?